In a year already full with shocks and surprises, 2021 ended on another peculiar note. Mark Zuckerberg announced that his company, the one called Facebook, it was now called Meta. Meta is Zuckerberg's foray into the next iteration of the internet, the Metaverse, which, for many people, is probably gibberish. Meta recently invested $50 million in nonprofit funding groups to help improve the Metaverse. Meta has also projected to create 10,000 jobs in the EU over the next 5 years. To put it simply, the Metaverse is the next version of the internet.
So tomorrow, theoretically, you could have products on the Metaverse. People are buying real estate in the Metaverse. You can have fashion in the Metaverse. So it's almost like there is a completely new universe which will have its own set of commerce and own sense of products.
It's everything those science fiction movies ever told you about. Whatever one's feelings for any of this, the Metaverse is coming, and maybe even sooner than you think. So, keeping all that in mind, what's next? What does the future hold for us? Are we all going to be walking around with VR headsets in the future? Is the internet really going to be a place we literally lived inside now? So much to break down in this brave new world. Technology is evolving with the blink of an eye, and many are finding it hard to keep up with the changes. Whether you accept the change or no, it is here. So, let's try and understand the basics of this new internet era.
So in simple terms, you could think of the Metaverse as a virtual space where you interact with friends, family, co-workers. It's kind of like Zoom or Google Meet.
Bring that into an immersive space where instead of a 2D environment, you will be doing all these activities in 3D.
Users can get in with their virtual avatars and then they can just explore this immersive reality where they can meet other people, talk to friends, find people who sort of share the same interests and values as them.
The physical world is actually very, very clunky. We can do only one thing at a time. We can move only at a certain speed. There are so many constraints that we live with in the physical world. Beautiful as it is and wonderful as it might be, right? And I think what the Metaverse does is for us to get a completely different set of possibilities. And I think that is fascinating. We can be many people. Each of those people can experience different realities.
Over the pandemic, two things have definitely happened. People have moved more to virtual spaces, and you've seen platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels take off for a very simple reason. People are now creating with their cameras at home. So even if you were to look at Metaverse, people are not just connecting, but also meeting people over a virtual reality space. It never happened before. I believe like in the last decade, the most you could do in terms of multiplayer was gaming and game together, but now it's gone way beyond that. You're now having conference meetings over the Metaverse, you're meeting people, you have concerts, pretty much everything that happens in reality can be mimicked onto the Metaverse. So I think, yeah, we're moving close to making the virtual space a reality as well.
The internet is gripping our lives more and more. Social media is already considered responsible for the deteriorating mental health of the public. What do experts think Metaverse will do to our collective health?
I think the idea of balance between the real and virtual world really comes down at the end of the day to the individual itself. We have people today, we had a whole phase of how kids were playing PUBG for so long that they were failing exams, and that is a point of digital intervention, right? I think when it comes to building a metaverse, like I said, the idea is to replace the time you spend on your current digital gadgets, not to take away the time you spend in your healthy real life.
I personally do not believe that Metaverse will create a host of problems. It can create in terms of adaptability. If we were too much dependent on the Metaverse, of course it'll give us a sense of fake happiness and validation. It's like controlling your own life in the Metaverse, right? You get to choose what you want to do in the Metaverse, and that's literally not how life works.
As individuals, as users, and also as companies have to be very conscious of A, what we are using, and B, how we are using it. And then from a company's perspective, we need to build from an end where we don't make the user an addict to the platform. Rather, it should just add on to their real lives and not completely snap them away from it.
metaverse is simply nothing but the human mind finding its own realm. The human body has found its realm in the physical world. The human mind finds its own realm in the metaverse.
Biology says that the essential things that you need for a good mental health, good physical health is good sleep, good food, good time in the sun, and a lot of interpersonal relationships for emotional value. And when I'm sitting in a corner in a dark room, interacting with these virtual environments, I am not getting any of these. I'm not eating well. I'm obviously not seeing any sunlight. My sleep patterns are not good. And I feel that that is a recipe for disaster.
The next generation of the internet is here, and it is only going to grow. Should you get on board this universe immediately or wait it out a bit?
I think over the next 5 or 10 years, all our digital interactions will be moving to a metaverse format. When I say metaverse, I mean a 3D format. We will have 3D avatars. We will be dressing them up. There is going to be more digital, intervention or enhancement in our social media experiences, in our app experiences. So all you can imagine is that every app you have in your phone, whether you're listening to music, whether you're ordering food, whether you're ordering a cab, may gradually shift into a metaverse experience so that it just becomes better and more enjoyable for you.
Till such time as technology allows us to access those kind of experiences, as easily as we currently can access the internet, I think it's going to be a marginal kind of a presence. Influential, extremely influential, but marginal.
I think India has always been way ahead than people give India the credit for when it comes to all these digital things. I mean, digital payments, the way it happens in India is so far ahead from how it happens in other countries. So I think Indians, especially these young individuals, Gen Zs, millennials, they're gonna adapt or adopt metaverse pretty quickly.
I don't think India will possibly at par grow with the other Western countries in terms of adaptability of metaverse, because even now metaverse and cryptocurrencies to a large extent seems like a very bougie concept. So I believe it might take a longer time than expected.
But I feel the generation that's growing up right now, who's going to be interacting with these environments and probably interact with these environments more than real environments, that's where the change is going to be driven. And that's why I personally feel India could be one of the leading countries in terms of metaverse adoption.
The metaverse promises to be a world within our world. Bloomberg has already projected that the metaverse could be the next biggest industry, valuing it at a potential of $800 billion. And the augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality market is projected to reach $300 billion by 2024. Over the last few years, we've seen new tech like the Oculus or Google Lens fall spectacularly on their faces. And asking an audience to spend their time with large devices strapped to their head still seems like a big request. But the buzz is undeniable. The craze is unprecedented, and a lot of us common folk are waiting to see what the next step is.